Very good evening, everybody. Do you have any announcement you want to make?
Yes. Good evening, Ajahn. Good evening, everyone here in person and online. Thank you for joining tonight's guided meditation. We're led by Ajahn Mudito. Just a quick announcement for upcoming event. Tomorrow night, we have guided meditation led by lay teacher. And on Monday to Thursday night, we have 20 to 30 minutes of quick meditation on our Discord channel. This is to make meditation a healthy habit. And a special event on this weekend, which is Fridays to Saturday. We have 2 days retreat led by Ajahn Vimukha. So the retreat is start 8 a.m. To 6 p.m. And the Ajahn will also offer the Sunday talk. For those new to the meditation, the format is we will have a quick introductions, and then we'll meditate until 8:30. After that, we have time for Q&A. For those here, would you please check if your phone is on silent or turn off? Now we will pass it back to Ajahn Mudito. Thank you again, Ajahn.
Thank you. Yep, make sure that the phone is off, because it's really sometimes when others starting to get close to the mind starts coming down, and if the phone goes off, it sometimes feels like glass breaking. It really is quite a shattering experience. So yeah, it's good to have the phones off or definitely silent. The introduction, you mentioned we have the Discord, and there is a meditation we do there, short ones from 7 to 7:20, Monday to Thursday, and then they have the morning ones, I can't remember what time is it, early morning. And it's called Healthy Habit. And meditation really is, it can be a healthy habit. It really is good for your mind. It's interesting when you're with muscles or a skill you have to have, you keep at it. No matter what you do in life, you need to keep at it, whether it's exercising or a skill you have. If you don't use your skill, you lose it, so to speak. So think about meditation as a healthy habit. It really is. You're doing something really nice for your mind. If you don't get into this nice habit of meditating, you're missing out a lot of things in life where you don't know how to look at your own mind. Meditation really, it's almost like it's showing you what has happened to your life, how your day was, how your week has been, how you've been behaving. So the most common comment people tell us about the meditation that they cannot stop their mind. The stopping of the mind will happen, and stopping of the thinking will happen, but sometimes that might be too lofty of a goal if you just do it a few times a week, if you haven't done a longer retreats. This kind of meditation, we don't try to stop the mind, we don't try to stop the thinking. The thinking mind will dissipate. It sort of goes into the background. But if you try to look at it that you're going to do it really with a lot of effort, or if there's any kind of aggressive effort there, then definitely the stopping is not going to happen. That slowing of the mind happens almost automatically. It's interesting, the Buddha said in the suttas, happy mind is a calm mind. So if you don't have a lot of happiness in your mind, whatever you have, nagging thoughts, aggressiveness, whatever follows you from today or from your almost this whole life, those kind of thoughts are not going to lead into calming of the mind. So that's what quite often we try to gladden the mind somehow in the beginning, where we don't push away the thinking mind, we don't push away the thoughts, but we learn to be with it. So always remember that the least effort is the best as the fastest way. That's the key to the meditation. We don't really have exact technique what we can teach you. Is like, oh, this is how you stop the thinking mind. This is how it's going to work. No, the best thing we can do is really learn to be at ease with the mind we have. Nobody's mind is different. You're not any different from rest of us, even from the experienced meditators. I liked one of the books I read, Suzuki Roshi. That was the one book I bought early on when I started to study Buddhism, and he said, there's nothing special about meditation. You just sit there like a frog. Frog doesn't think it's sitting, it's just sitting. So don't think this is it is a special thing you're doing. It really is. But don't think that just by sheer effort, by sitting somehow in silence, makes the thoughts go away. You just sit there and try to become, this is from my teacher, Ajahn Brahm, you try to become like an observer. Quite often, what happens when we're doing the guided meditation for your here example, and it's quite easy to meditate perhaps because you can sort of rely on my instructions, you go with that. And then I go quiet, and the mind tends to be quiet, and then the thinking mind, or the mind wants to, the habit of the mind is I go looking for thoughts again. Thoughts don't just come out of thin air. They don't just get created from ether. The habit of the mind is you don't know what it means to be without thinking. So you always go looking for thoughts. Thoughts don't, even though they sometimes feel like they're drifting from nowhere to your mind and then they stick around. No, it's actually what happens when you've been meditating along, and when you carefully watch how it happens, is that it's almost like there's a bit of a tension there, maybe boredom sometimes just out of habit. You go looking for some kind of thought. Your mind starts to get calm and you don't know what to do, so you go looking for the thought, and then you start making something out of those thoughts. And then they stay. So when I go quiet later on, when I stopped the guided meditation and then there was a long period of silence, we'll be there long and long. Don't get too panicked about it. It's not going to be that long. But you will start noticing, and that the mind has this tendency of, it starts drifting again. It'll start drifting. And what is the normal reaction to do that? Do then, when you have the thinking mind, you start being aggressive towards that. So any kind of aggressiveness makes it worse. Any kind of, if you can just smile at those thoughts, if you can just be at ease with it, they tend to go away a lot quicker, or they don't stick around. Happy mind is a calm mind. The more you lean towards kindness, easiness, they tend to dissipate quicker. So keep that in mind when we get there, and soon enough, when you start drifting again into the la-la land, when the thinking mind gets really strong again, just remind yourself, nothing to do with me. It's none of my business. These thoughts don't belong to you. If you own them, if you own those thoughts, they are yours. The thoughts themselves are not the problem. It's you who create problems with them. So try to be kind of lean into this kind of, I'm just watching, I'm observing, I can see them coming, I did it again, I went there. Don't worry about it. Even that, if you have that kind of aggressive thought, like, oh, I'm doing it again, that itself is aggressive. So try to catch every moment of that kind of flavor of the mind. Don't worry about so much about what the thoughts are, but how do you relate to them? Are you relating them just at being at ease with it, being kind towards that, being accepting those things that they are there again? That's the best way. I'm not going to tell you all different techniques. Today, let's try today this meditation of being at ease and accepting those idiosyncrasies you have in your mind. I think that's a good enough instructions for today's meditation. Because your mind is not different from anybody else's, but it's not the same either. So we have different kind of, sometimes we call them defilements coming to the mind, or different thought patterns. Let me tell you, you don't want to look at my mind. It's not very interesting. But I don't want to see yours either. So when we start sitting, and if you need to move, please do so while meditating. If you need to change your posture, do it really kindly towards others. So always have this, even in this hall, there's enough of us, so there will be shuffling going on, but don't worry about it. We are all allowed to move. But do it in a sense that it was like, oh, there's a lot of friends here who are just getting calm as well. So I need to move, but I do it with kindness towards everybody else. So whatever we do today, our own minds or with the body, do it with kindness and care towards yourself and others. Okay, so let's take a comfortable seat. Make sure you wiggle your bum. Turn the lights down. So always in the beginning of the meditation, one of the really key things is to make sure you're comfortable. Like I said, don't get too worried, carried away. I always thought meditation is painful, but look, if it gets to be painful, the only thing you are learning is to look at pain. So make sure you don't do that. We're here to relax, not to endure pain. So like I said, if the pain gets too much and you are starting to get aggressive towards that, that's a sign that you're doing something wrong. So then just close your eyes now, and we still are with the body, making sure that the body is comfortable. You can move around, you can make sure that the cushion underneath is well placed and you feel stretched enough. And if you have tightness in your outfit, in your shirt or your pants or anything, make just sure that everything is well placed. Your keys are out of your pocket and your phone is off and placed outside of your pockets as well. You're not sitting on your wallet, put it in the safekeeping next to you. And again, just remind yourself that look, we are here with our friends. We don't perhaps know each other, all of us, but we're all good people. Good people come to the Buddhist Society here to meditate, to learn good habits. So then just breathe into the tummy. The day has ended. It was a long day, probably. Most of you worked, did many things today. The day's over. From now on, I'm just here to relax. You even put all this effort to come here to Buddhist Society. To come here to relax. How nice it is. To relax for a while. It's not going to last, unfortunately, too long. But for now, there's nothing to do and nowhere to go. We are starting to be or get into a place where it's nice and quiet. Have you noticed that so often we listen? Always something these days. There's always radio on everywhere. Your headphones, your workmates are talking. Here, this is like a relaxing moment even to your eardrums. Just kicking back. There's noises outside of ourselves, and it's at the road, or other people are moving a little bit, or breathing, but those noises don't have to bother you. It's the absence of things which you should be paying attention. Now, just for a while, just scan the surroundings with 5 senses. So let's go through all the senses. What's missing? What's missing under your field of view? Your eyes are closed, so the only thing you see is this black, grey, little grid-like things on your field of view. But the only imagined things are coming to your vision. But what's missing is all the things usually we see. So this field of view, this dark, unmovable thing will disappear because we cannot pay attention to static things, things that are not moving. And what's missing from our hearing? Do you notice how quiet it is actually here? We all enjoy quietness once in a while. What's missing is sounds that disturb us all the time. how nice it is to be in a quiet place once in a while. And what's missing from our body is hopefully a little bit of tension missing from our body. This feeling of tension in the overall body. The touch. You just feel your body, the touch sense in your body, the skin, there's all the good things which are left. Yeah, the body feels nice and soft and calm when you are here, sitting for a little while. And same with the whole body itself, the touch. You can only feel one part of your body. And same with the sense of smell and taste. When something is not changing and you're not paying attention to that, it's still there. But it will disappear when you don't pay attention to that. So your olfactor, your smell, breathe in through the nose and just breathe out through your mouth. For a little while, you can smell the different things from the whole. But soon this will also disappear because you don't pay attention to that sense. And then pay attention to your tongue, your tasting. There's certain kind of sourness or coarseness on your tongue or whatever it is inside of your mouth. You always have it there, but if you don't pay attention to that, it will disappear. So what's missing here in this hall is the busyness of the world. If all those irritation to your senses, which are always screaming at you to do something, so let's try to calm down the body a little bit more. Just feel yourself sitting on the cushion or on the chair. And if there's any way you can relax yourself to be more embedded almost into that cushion, please do so. Make sure your back is soft. Make sure your shoulders are drooping down and getting pulled down by the hands. Just breathe into the body of yours. And every breath you take, you relax. Just relax. Relax. For a little while, there's nothing you need to do, and nowhere you need to go. When you enjoy the body can disappear a little bit more. So make sure you give kindness to your body. Just that kind of easiness, softness. It's a good enough body. Just keep looking at the body, but in a way that it doesn't belong to you. Whose body is it? It's not yours. This body belongs to the nature. It's sustained by this breath, the things you eat and drink. But this body is not yours. It's just sitting there. Nothing to do with you. Just observe the body almost like you're looking down on it. Smile on this beautiful body. To sustain itself. And the longer you look, your body with kindness and smile, the more relaxed it becomes. Just softly go through different parts of the body, wherever the mind wants to go in your body. Just scan it gently and kindly. Do you notice how beautiful organism your body is? How all these things in your body work in beautiful harmony when you allow it. And just keep bringing your mind, no matter what it wants to do, in this kind of flavor of beauty of the body. Just admire it a little bit longer. And when you sit there, it almost feels like you are in this beautiful place. It's like you were in your mom's tummy. The body is just surrounded by kindness and softness and care. Like you really care about your body. You are in a safe place. And then when the body starts to be more and more relaxed, can you see how it brings in the breath? The breath is still the life force. What brings the body energy. Can you see the whole body is breathing? is a breath, but it's nothing to do with you. It just supports the body and it keeps it alive. Just hover your attention over the beautiful breath, just keeps going in and out. And if the breath doesn't want to sustain your attention, just keep hovering over your body with smile, with kindness. And then see if you can see the body breathing again. Can you see the beautiful breath? How it comes to your lungs and leaves again. Even that you have to look at with kindness. It is soft and beautiful how it moves in and out of your body. And now just continue with this soft attention, with the quiet meditation for a while. Just don't despair. Everybody here has mind which is not any calmer than yours. However light your mind is, however distracted it is, just look at with kindness. And now that the mind should start being a little bit calm, can you see the breath? Can you see the breath flowing in and out of your body? When the mind is calm, the breath looks beautiful. Just a little bit more. Don't lose your breath. Look every aspect of that breath. As if you would sing the first time. Now, one more time, bring your awareness, your mindfulness back to your body. Just look at the body, breathing there. Can you see how the body is in harmony and healthy when you allow it to relax for a while? Can you see how this is a healthy habit for your body? And also pay attention to your mind. Can you see what's missing from your mind? If it's been replaced by quietness or removal of those really strong thoughts. Can you see how this is a healthy habit for the mind? Allowing the mind to be calm just for a while. I will now ring the bell for 3 times and listen to those 3 times, after which you can open your eyes. Very good. Thank you so much. This was actually a bit more than 45 minutes, but it doesn't look like many people have left, so yay. Good. Okay. So this was a healthy habit meditation. You can, if you wish, you can go back home. If there's any questions coming up, you can ask the questions. If your mind is not too dull yet.
Thank you, Ajahn. If you have any question, feel free to raise your hand. I'll pass you the mic.
Yeah, one thing you have to remember that it's not your mind is crazy, but all of our minds are crazy. I thought I was a relatively sane person until I became a monk. The longer you spend by your, looking at the mind, you realized how mind always tends to look for irritations, and it's we all have our little things in our own mind, and you really have to learn to live with yourself. That's what the meditation is all about. There is no exact methods, or one meditation would work today and it doesn't work, perhaps doesn't work tomorrow. So we need to learn to navigate the mind of ours. So that's one thing, but really you have to think about it as something where, like, a really nice habit we have. I get into this groove of, I just feel like I'm just going to sit down. Once in a while it doesn't work. You were too busy with your life. You won't be able to stop your mind. You had too much things happening. And so that's another thing you have to learn. Once in a while it just doesn't work. You need to do something else. Do mindfulness in another way. Go for a walk. After the walk, maybe I sit for 10 minutes. And then the 10 minutes is easy. But if you think you're going to just crush it, it's not going to happen. You really have to learn to be soft and gentle, accepting whatever happens in your mind. World, it is what it is. It's busy and it gives us a lot of stress and dukkha, like I gave the talk yesterday. But if we never learn to be with those things on our own mind, we don't really learn. There will be difficult times ahead of us. We were just talking with Ajahn Sadhu how our parents are getting old, and Ajahn Sadhu was just saying that how it's not going to be fun, even for us. No, it's not going to be fun. Sometimes old age is not too much suffering, but a lot of times it's not going to be fun. So if anything else, just think, if you don't put in the effort now, well, it won't get any easier. So just keep at it. I always tell everybody, just keep at it, keep at it. Don't despair. You are as crazy as anybody else and as kind as anybody else. We're not born with any of these skills. It is something you can learn. And if you keep at it, it will get easier, it gets interesting, it gets nice, it gets nicer. And then you are a little bit less crazy. I know a lot of people who are not crazy, but it is because they learn to be with those things in their own mind. So you might start looking at your own mind as like, it's not very beautiful there. Well, again, just keep at it and you'll learn the skills how you can gladden your mind. It's a nice skill to have. And then those tough times don't stay as long. I know myself, if I don't meditate enough, I tend to get not full depression, but I get this kind of very not nice states, and then it gives me this warning sign that, hang on, I haven't been meditating enough, so I just have to get back into meditation, because I recognize that mind state, and I realize that I can the mind can be something else. So keep at it with the meditation, recognize the mind states when they come, and it is telling you something. So it is hard to see sometimes the benefits of the meditation, I must admit. But if we don't do it, that's the failure, not the meditation. Meditation cannot never be a failure. Stopping is the only way, only failure you can do with this practice. Anything coming up? Anybody have any crazy stories you want to tell us?
Ajahn, I have an online question.
Okay.
So this question is outside of meditation, but it's a burning question for the meditator.
Oh, Adita.
How do I convince my mother for me to ordain, as I'm a single child, to my single mom, and I want to dedicate myself to practice, but getting difficult as she wants me to marry and get settled?
Yeah, mothers are difficult to convince, I must admit. Well, I think sometimes we just have to do certain things. I know even for me, I mean, I'm not from Asian family, but it was really still, it was tough. I mean, mother and father was both crying when I left. I'm not a single child, so it's even more difficult if you're a single child. But even then, somehow I became the favorite. I don't know what on earth and it was difficult for me to leave. But sometimes you just have to do it. You know, mom and dad, you listen to them best of your ability, but sometimes you just have to ignore. That's it. I will do my own thing in my life. And you just have to trust that if you do a good thing and, you know, which is best for you, they will accept it. And they come around. Then my mom and dad are not too sad anymore. It's taken me over 10 years. But sometimes it takes a long time. But you just have to trust that they will come back to you. If they really, they do love you, but sometimes love just can be also done with the distance, and sometimes that's the best thing we can do. So just go for it. Don't think about too much about them. You just have to worry about your own karma. They will come around. That's it.
Thank you, Ajahn. Do we have question here in hall?
Okay, we'll finish it there. Yeah, cool. Okay, nice seeing everybody. Have a good night, and we hopefully come again next week. It will be somebody else teaching. Sadhu. Now I'm going to do 5 precepts. Okay, you want to do the 5 precepts? Sheet for you.